I am a maintenance worker for an apartment complex and have been for several weeks. There are 5 maintenance workers, me and 4 other guys. It was on this day that we were called to fix the washing machine. I know what you're thinking. How could it take 5 guys to fix one machine? But if you were in this apartment complex, you'd know. It turned out to be a problem with the plumbing. Piping, water flowing, stuff like that. Anyways, it turned out that we'd have to demolish part of the wall, and we called up the manager to ask him for approval to do so. He told us that we could, as long as we didn't damage it too much, which I thought was silly, considering it was demolishing it. We were looking and hammering on the walls to find the right place where we could actually demolish that we knew would not destroy the plumbing or the piping. We eventually found a spot which was hollow, and we hit it with our hammers quite a few times before it actually popped loose. It turns out that it was a panel. So, once the panel was loose, it looked like it led into a crawl space. Just a crawl space. We called the manager and told him about this. He told us to explore the crawl space, figure out what it led to. The usual thing, him being concerned about it. We turned on our flashlights and crawled into the space. After what seemed like miles of crawling, we eventually ended up in a large room which had the words "Sub Basement" painted on it in white lettering. We found a hatch and opened it up to see where it led, but we soon closed it because we saw a figure shuffling and laughing. It was creepy. We tried to call the manager, but there was no cell reception. We decided that 3 of us would stay here, and 2 of us would crawl back through the crawl space. That was me and Jim, the maintenance worker, who was very fearless, but after seeing what was outside the hatch, he was terrified, and he gladly volunteered to go. After barely a few minutes of being in the crawl space, we heard banging, as if someone was banging on metal, pounding on it with their fists. Then suddenly we heard a loud crash and heard the screams of our co-workers and laughing. We started crawling as fast as we could, and eventually, after it stopped, we thought it was safe. But then we heard laughing from behind us, inside the crawl space. We hurried as fast as we could now, crawling and scraping our elbows on the rough rock of it. But we didn't care. We just cared about surviving whatever the hell was coming. Eventually, we made it and sealed the thing back up. We called the manager and told him what had happened. He never said if he did believe us, but he never said that he didn't. So I just went along with it. I still don't know what happened to my other 3 maintenance workers.